What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and you check out the content, right? And I want to say that, man, I've been on the Pistons ever since last year, uh, and for a while it just seemed like it took a long time for ESPN and like mainstream media to get on the Pistons, right? You know, it almost seemed like, in my opinion, that they felt like the Pistons was almost like what Cleveland is doing like this year is like gonna be a flash in the pan. But I was always a big fan of this kid, Cade Cunningham. You know, even before last year, like when he came out of college, I like him. Then every year since he's been in the league, you could just see his growth and the amount of work that Cade Cunningham is putting into his game. And so you see now, that like they slowly but surely was putting the pieces around him. They got this guy Doran now with him. Who else he got? Isaiah Stewart. Tobias Harris. You know, they got the pieces around Cade Cunningham, man. Whereas though this team right here, and is not surprising to me that the Pistons are number one in the East. I like them because they play at both ends, right? You know, they're tough defensively and they can go out and score and get buckets. They have jump shooters and stuff around this guy. They have a good pick and roll game with Doran and Cunningham. So finally, I think that this ESPN is really catching up, to the times. And that just make me think that, I don't know, like these analysts don't always be on point. I don't know. It would seem to me that they would be able to like spot a real team right off the bat, just because of the way that they're structured. And now Detroit is really getting the love that they deserve. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not surprised. But with that being said, I want to play the audio from what ESPN was saying about the Pistons. Then I want to come back and I want to add my reaction to it.
So the Pistons are firing on all cylinders, if you will, sitting atop of the East. Perfect. How wide is the gap between Detroit and the rest of the East right now?
Well, it's not wide, but I will say this. Detroit is my favorite right now. If I had to pick today to represent the East as far as going to the NBA Finals. And the reason being is because of that grown-ass man, Jalen Duren. Right now, I believe he's the best big man outside of Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Eastern Conference. So that means he's second. The way that he dominates, his relentlessness on both ends of the floor, his physicality, and low-key, he has a light bag with him. You know what I mean? People don't understand how skilled this young man is. That combination with him and Cade, especially when Cade is on the floor, that pick and roll is something serious. That two-man game is something serious. I got Detroit right now as my favorite to represent the East.
So clearly today you have a little bit of a small beef with Cat because you're saying that he is the best big man in the Eastern Conference.
Well, I mean, Giannis is still there.
Giannis,
so after Giannis, I'm saying after Giannis,
two,
you know what I'm saying? But Giannis is halfway there. You know, we got to figure out.
And Giannis is a hybrid. Look, I think it's interesting because obviously you went for the big man and you said, like, it's not wide, so it's not Perk wide.
Now, let me say, like, all right, so they're comparing Giannis to Jalen Duren, right? And what I like more so about Jalen Duren is Jalen Duren operates closer to the basket around that in that paint area. He will come out with the pick and roll. Giannis, a lot of times when Giannis try to penetrate from like the top of the key or outside that break his man down. That's why I like this kid Duren, because he is more, in my opinion, he's more of a traditional big low post ball player. They do play the pick and roll sometime, but I just like that style of play, man. And this style of play also is intelligent because you get the defenders in foul trouble. He has really good footwork. Duren has really good footwork around the basket. And he's really, really strong and really aggressive, man. So I like this Duren guy. I think around the basket, he's more effective than Giannis. Antetokounmpo. Giannis is kind of limited. Like I said, he don't. If you watch his footwork and stuff like Giannis is good going downhill, and I know but Giannis is not really all that efficient, like playing with his back to the basket. He need to face you up and go, strong left or strong right. This guy right here he could play with his back to you, feel you, and if you feel you and then go left or go right, depending on what the defender is doing, right? And so that right there, man, that's old school basketball right there. Harder to defend too. And then don't let this guy during development too, the kind of low post ball player that know how to hit the open man from that position down there, because then that's even crazier.
Is it like Chinegwa? You know what I'm saying? I think it's a little bit smaller. The separation, don't look at me. I felt the separation in the Eastern Conference, just because these teams like the Cavs, we got Wendy shook. Teams like the Cavs, the Sixers on the rise. Like I like these teams. Teams will improve. But I will say this: you talk about Jalen Duren. I want to talk about Cade Cunningham because you talk about best bigs. How about best big guards in the NBA? Other than Luka, who's averaging like 33, Cade has.
I did a video too about who would you take, Cade or Luka. Man, again, Cade played defense. Cade is not the scorer that Luka is, but his defense, like his overall play, make up for the lack of what you getting from Luka. So let me see what she's gonna say about Luka. I'm taking Cade because he's a two-way ball player. He's not gonna score 30 and then give up 35 or give up 31. He's going to score 30 and then try to hold you to 20, So let me see what this young lady says about Cade.
Masterful control of the game. He is showing all aspects of leadership. He has to be top, relatively in points, but also up there. He was like starting the year at 2 or 3 in assists. His control is impressive. It's very rare that you have a player that can score, but also distribute and not hurt your team. Typically, it's like too much of one or the other. He is the perfect balance, and he's the perfect fit. Cool, calm, and collected. It's Cade and Duren.
So, we talk about how great the Thunder are on defense. We just showed all that stuff about what they did in Milwaukee last night. Since December 1st, the Pistons have the best defense in the NBA. That's 7 weeks now that the Pistons have even been better than the Thunder. And we see that night in and night out.
So, and that's why I said, like, ESPN is just now, I realized early in the season that this defense was serious. You got Isaiah Stewart, you got Jalen Duren, Tobias Harris is not bad. You got this kid right here, Cade Cunningham. They don't have really nobody that you can really pick on and say, all right, this way I'm going to go and I'm going to get the bulk of my points. They just solid through and through. And then on top of that, they have this physical presence about them that because they got Isaiah Stewart and they got Jalen Duren, like, they remind me almost like the old school Pistons, man, whereas though you don't really want no smoke with these guys that's on that team, man. And so and so Cade Cunningham is in a situation where almost like what like Michael Jordan was when he was with when he had Oakley with him, right? He, like Oakley was the enforcer in Chicago for Mike in those early days. And so this is what it is with Cade Cunningham. You got Isaiah Stewart and you got Jalen Duren, man. And so Cade Cunningham is going to be able to operate without basically, without a care in the world. And that's what is going to really set this team apart. Boston don't have that. Cleveland don't have that luxury. Like, so yeah, this team right here is defensively, in my opinion, is the best in the business.
Guys, they're on pace for 62 wins. 62. They already got a 5.5 game lead. That's the distance between them and the East, 5.5. And that's, if you have a young team, you want them to play at home in the playoffs. And the road to the finals is going to go through Detroit, the way things are going right now. Now, look, they do have some questions about shooting, I think, a little bit, and ball handling under pressure. Like you get into a game 5 where it's 2-2. Do you have other ball handlers, but they swarm Cade? Like, people think that maybe they could use another piece, but they're a legit team.
And let me say this. They have a few pieces without having to give up their core to add before the trade deadline to make them really, really dangerous.
Yeah, I think, And now I just named a few of their ball players, right? But they do have some other guys that are really good too. I won't worry about too much about their ball handlers. Like now, if Cade Cunningham gets shut down as far as scoring, I think that they have some other guys too that'll step up. What's the guy that's really shoot the jumper? He came from Miami. Damn, I forgot his name, but they got some scores around Cade Cunningham. And let me say this about like his offensive skill. I think even if you double team Cade Cunningham, he and I've seen this development in his game too that I didn't see early in his career. Well, his first couple years, his first year in his career, he know how to beat the double team and score against the double team. And so he can play with his back to the basket. He moves without the ball. So it's going to be hard, really. The more and more comfortable this guy get and the more experience that Cade get, it's going to be hard, really, to focus on him and shut him down completely. And then on top of that, take his teammates out of him. So I think if you double team Cade Cunningham, he's going to make you pay for it, either by finding an open man or, he can score on the double team. So I like this Detroit Pistons team. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.